There we go. Welcome everybody to the sixth session of Unlock Alabama Lunch and Learns. Today we're featuring Mr. Sid Haldar, who is the founder of AI Plus Friends and the Cold Email Hall of Fame. Sid is currently a student in his third year of university at the University of British Columbia. He's built and sold projects online with AI. He's also teaching other people how to do the same. Sid, thanks so much for joining us. I know we got time to chat last week. Super appreciative of you, coming on and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me. It's good to spend this time with you guys, get to know you a little bit as well. And yeah, I hope I can share some things that are valuable. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Really quickly, I had this video I wanted to play for all of you guys. So I'm just going to play it. It's going to be a 1 minute video. And for the rest of the session, I'm just going to tell you guys, share my story, and talk a little bit about how anyone can build things with AI today, why it's important, and how you could even monetize and get to your first couple of users. Um, yeah, let me play this video. Let me know if you can't hear the volume and stuff like that.
Ah, there it is, the Golden Gate Bridge. So, this is the magical land they tell stories about, where every day the future is being written by the latest AI model. Everyone here is building something, shipping something, doing something meaningful, and I'm sitting on this bench freezing. I need to find a way to do more. Like Jeff, who built an app and sold it in a weekend, and he can't even code. Hell, he can't even spell Alaska. But if he can do it, who's to say I can't? Who's to say the next $1 million app won't be built by me? I just gotta start this weekend. Still can't believe Jeff can't spell Alaska. It literally has 3 syllables.
All right. How many of you relate to that? Just out of curiosity, just put like one in the chat if that's you. If you feel like you've had an idea but have never actually been able to build it before, um, just put a one in the chat. And if you just put a two if you've ever made anything with AI before, just out of curiosity. Okay, cool. I'd love to know what you guys worked on, what you've made. Um, but yeah, I feel like so first of all, I want to thank you all for spending your lunch with me. I know lunch is a very important hour of the day. It's like the 1 hour you get to take some time for yourself and reset before you get into work. I know one of you is driving literally in New York through the snow. And so I want to thank you all for coming here, being on call. And yeah, just hopefully this story and the things I talk about are of a little bit of value. Really quickly, my name is Sid. The most important part about me is that I don't know how to code. So I am in my third year of university, and I've been working on projects online for about a year or so, but I've never been able to code. And yeah, so last year or a couple of years ago in the summer, this was me absolutely hounding that hot dog down. But around that time, I started my first startup or project online, and it was called Synctium. What I wanted to work on was a way to track your relationships. So anytime you meet someone, I wanted to create a tracker which would help you remember the conversation you had with that person and hopefully be able to improve that relationship over time. So let's say you wanted to meet the president of the United States of America. How would you find the five people in your network that would help you get to that person? And so I was completely non-technical, but the game plan was I hired two technical people and I get a technical co-founder and we build an MVP, we come up with a business plan, we do market research, we have an investor slide deck, and yeah, hopefully we get into an accelerator and we raise some big money. And that's our start to $1 million billion company. So I had those two wonderful people join in. This was my technical co-founder at the time, and this screenshot is from the Zoom call from when we applied to YC. Can anyone guess what happened after we sent in this application to Y Combinator. Well, let me tell you, we did not get in. We got rejected from YC. Everyone went back to their full time jobs, everyone but me. I've always been a bit too optimistic, I would say. And so I didn't want to give up on this idea. And so it was just me, and I wanted to continue working on this. So I found a way to convince my university through a cold email, actually, which I'll talk more about, to give me 5K and 4 months to work on this idea full time. And I took that instead of doing an internship. I took that and I flew to San Francisco. And if you guys don't know, San Francisco is where all the startups come out of, all the craziest ones at least. It's like the tech hub of the world. And so I wanted to go there, and my goal was to find a technical co-founder and continue building this project or startup. So that ended up leading to me finding a place where all these cool people would come and work for 6 weeks. And it was a selective program where they would select founders from all across the globe. And these would be some of the smartest founders working on some of the hardest problems in the world. And so I knew that if I had to find someone who's technical and smart, I had to be in this room, right? So I followed them. I remember having like post notifications on, and so as soon as they had their program, I sent in the first application. But unfortunately, I was also the first person that they rejected too. I didn't get one of the 50 spots that they have had for this program. But again, I'm optimistic, right? So I didn't want to give up. I thought, what if I send them an email? So I sent them this email telling them, hey, I'm in SF for a little bit before I have to go back to uni anyway. Can I please just come and sit during the workshops and demos? I'll only come for the workshops. I'll leave as soon as it's over. I said I'm happy to take out the trash or whatever. So then they didn't reply to this email, but I thought, what if I structured a much better email and sent it to every single person that works at this place? And so this was the cold email I wrote at the time. Um, and it was basically telling them that I would come and film a launch video for them for this program for free. If they just, I didn't even ask them if I can be a part of the program. I just said I wanted to show up and film this launch video that would hopefully be posted on this big podcast called My First Million. Um, and yeah, a little bit about me is that I've always studied cold emails because I thought they've been an underrated way to get in touch with people way out of your league. And so I always studied them, and I learned how to write them in a way that would persuade the other person. And so this email actually was opened by one of the people um, at Founders Inc. And I remember I didn't even get a reply from this email, and I just showed up anyway. Luckily, when I showed up, the person that read it saw me and said, "Oh, I actually read your email," and so they let me work out of their lab for a couple of days. And then after I put the video out, they really liked my hustle and the video, and so they just let me be a part of that program. So when I got in, I was non-technical, but I realized that everyone there that was technical was working on their own things. And so I was pretty confused. I didn't know like how to find that technical person since everyone was working on their own things. So I thought, why not I just help them all market their own startups or projects? What I didn't realize is that by the end of it, there was a demo day where everyone who was part of the program, like literally everyone, had to show something they worked on. And I was pretty confused because I didn't really build anything. I was only helping others market their own projects, right? And so it led to this one weekend that I spent with AI. And during this one weekend, I was thinking, what is something I can make that I could demo? And it was really hard because everyone around me was so smart. They were working on literal autonomous robots that could uh, move boxes for you in a warehouse, or they were working on the next generation AI model. And here I was, non-technical as hell, thinking of what can I make in a weekend with AI. And I came up with this thing called the Cold Email Hall of Fame, which I thought was really stupid at the time. But since I've been studying these cold emails, I thought, why not? I just put it up on a website and have people go through so they can see these cold emails that other people have sent and maybe use it for some inspiration. So this is what the Cold Email Hall of Fame looks like. If you want to check it out after, you just go to coldemails.world. But essentially, it's a gallery of images of cold emails people have sent to Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Cuban, and other famous entrepreneurs, celebrities of the world. And the goal was to inspire people that you can get in touch with anyone, being a nobody, by just sending a cold email. Um, yeah, and it's crazy that after a couple of hours, I posted it online, and it got a 500,000 views, 400 subs in just a few hours or days since coming up with the website. And it was crazy to me because I actually thought that this was really stupid, and I couldn't believe that people really liked this thing that I spent only a weekend on making. Um, and so, yeah, this was a LinkedIn post that I put out about the cold emails and the website, and this got 500,000 impressions the next day. This I got this text from one of the investors that's actually at the program, and so after the program ends in 6 weeks, only a couple, like 10 to 15 people, get invited to continue working out of the lab, and it's usually people that they invest in. Even though I didn't get invested in, it was really cool that this investor that was running this program invited me to stay and be a part of this community just because of this project. A couple of months later, I got this acquisition offer, where a company wanted to acquire this thing that I made on a weekend with AI for $1,000 to $2,000. And it's crazy to me that someone wanted to pay money for something I literally spent just one weekend making. Um, and it was just an idea in my head. I have no technical skills. I just built it with AI. And yeah, it was like really crazy to me that all these outcomes happened just because of that one weekend. Today, so we're actually at 3,000 subs, and it makes a decent amount of money every month. Has made a couple of $1,000s online, and I would have never imagined that going into it. It started off with just a project that I thought was fun, um, and I still think is fun. And I will talk a little bit more about how we monetize it and how it makes money. But I feel like today anyone can do that. Literally anyone can make a legit app, a real business in a weekend with the latest AI models. And it doesn't have to be software or apps, it can be anything. It can be movies, songs, art. I think if you spend one weekend working on it, you can go really far with the things that are out there today. And so it feels like the only gap is knowledge, right? And so I hope that today, after this call, you all can go home and open up the laptops that you have and feel like you can make an app or a project with AI and monetize it, get to real users. Um, but yeah, it feels like all the resources out there. The only gap is knowledge. So I think it's worth talking about where this AI plus friends thing started. And so it started in Dubai, where we did this event with me and this guy called Farza, who's built and sold companies before, and just someone that I really look up to. And we did this event where we just showed a bunch of people, like parents, teachers, kids, how to make an app with AI. And we did the whole process live in front of everyone. So in about 90 minutes, we made an app. We made like three apps, I think, and we showed them how easy it is for anyone to do that with AI and with plain English. You don't need to know how to code. And so we put that video online, and that ended up getting 1 million views. We had 200 people, 250 people come to the event, and it was crazy to me. I didn't think again this would happen. And so once we had this cool outcome, I thought, you know what, let's do it again. And another outcome was that some people after the event went home and made apps. One of them was Tyler, and he got to his first $150 a month with his app in just 2 weeks after the event. And that's where I thought, okay, you know what? I want to do more of these instead of that being a one off thing. And so when I came to Vancouver, I got a DM from this person that has a small community of students in Vancouver, very similar to you guys. Um, and so I thought, let's do one in Vancouver. And so this is the Vancouver event where I helped my professor build this first app with AI, and I did it live in my university. So there were 200 people there, again, students, some were employees and things like that. And it was really cool. It was really fun. And then I sent this DM to Emmanuel on Twitter where I asked him, I told him the things that he was doing was really cool, and when I was curious about how he was working on this project, Unlock Alabama, and that led to us talking. And he asked me to come and share my story. He's actually been part of the Cold Emails Hall of Fame list, which was so cool to see. And yeah, that led to this call. So yeah, really quickly, I want to do a little bit of a, I guess, like introspection, or what is it called? Retrospection, like go back in history and think about why is AI such a big deal today. So let's rewind back to 2016. 2016 was, in my opinion, one of the best years. You know, we had like crazy music, good times. We had this one app that came out that went really viral. Can anyone guess what this app is? Just put it in the chat if you know what this app is. Pokemon Go, right? Exactly. Um, so this was an app where you could go around your city, your neighborhood, and on your phone you could find real Pokemons and catch them with this Pokemon ball. I don't know what it's called. Um, and yeah, at that time it nearly took like 20 years. I don't know if the 20 years it is as true, but it definitely took 2 years of building to create this app. But today, if you go to an AI agent, which I'll talk more about, you can just put one sentence, which is make me an app that allows you to catch Pokemon in real life using your phone's camera, and the agent will go and build that whole app for you, um, which is quite crazy to me. For the last like almost 50 years, right? We had to manually write code. I don't know about you guys, but when I look at that, I just don't like it. It just does not look appealing to me. Like I don't want to go and learn how do you actually write that from scratch, right? But something changed fundamentally in 2022. This can anyone guess what that is? Like what actually changed in 2022?
Get more advanced in AI.
Yeah, more advances with AI. Specifically, ChatGPT came out in 2022, right? And all these like AI models. And what was really cool with ChatGPT and Claude, I don't know if you guys have heard of Claude, but it's the competitor to OpenAI or ChatGPT. What was really cool about them is that their AI models could write code. Um, and so, but you still had to go and, like copy the code and then put it in an environment where you could run it and put the files in place and all these other things, like deploy it on the internet was a whole thing, um, which was a hassle. But it was still much better than starting from scratch and writing the code by yourself. That brings us to 2025, which is when something called coding agents came out. And really quickly, let me give you an intro into what agents are. So AI chatbots are basically, it's like using AI where you send in one message and you get one reply. So that's what ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, Grok, all these AI chatbots are very much like that. You send in one message and it gives you one reply. AI agents are more where you send in a message and it goes and does many tasks for you. For example, Emergent, Replit, Lovable, Cursor. Um, Now there's Cloud Code, Codex, all these other like agents. There's so many. It feels like a new Pokemon every day, you know. But these are different because you tell it to go build an app, and it will go and set up the production environment. It will set up the files that it needs. It will use a programming language, and it will go and build the app for you. So that's just one very simple thing to remember: is that an AI agent goes and does many tasks, and it doesn't require much human intervention, which is crazy because before you would still need to go back and forth with the AI to write the code, review it. But now AI can just go and do all of that for you, which to me is very, very like it feels almost life changing. Like you can have real products being built, being reviewed. Like AI will go and check if the security of the code it built is good or not. Like it's crazy all these things that it can do. And so nowadays, it's literally as easy as one sentence that you put into AI. If you want a food delivery app, you just ask it to make you a website where you can order food from the nearest restaurants. If you want to make online clothing app, you just tell it to make a website where you can order clothes online. If you want to track your calories, ask you to make an app where you take pictures of your food and track your calories. Um, Really quickly, anyone know this app called Cal AI? Let's put a one in the chat if you know what Cal AI is. Okay, Emmanuel knows what Cal AI is. But for the rest of the you that don't know what this is, it's basically an app where you take a picture of your food and it tells you how many calories are in that food. Um, And can anyone guess how much this app does in a year? Like how much money can a simple app like this, where you take a picture of your food and it gives you the calories of it? Can anyone guess how much does this make per year? Emmanuel, do you want to give it a guess? 4 million. What about the rest of you? Natasha, Lubendia, Tawanya. You guys want to put
Maybe
a
5 mil.
Honestly,
what's
like,
your guess?
oh, sorry.
I would say 5 mil.
5 million. Okay,
I feel like it probably make like, I don't know, like maybe 6 to 10 mil.
6 or 10 mil. Okay. 1 billion. Wow, crazy. Um, okay, those are all like good guesses. So at its peak, it was making around $30 million a year, and this January it was making around $5 million a month. So on track to make like $60 million, right? And they just sold to MyFitnessPal, which is like a much bigger company for tracking calories and keeping up your fitness. It just sold for $50 million, and it was built by this teenager when he was 18 years old, just like a year and a half ago. His name is Zach, and it was made with AI over a weekend. And it's crazy that, today, like just a year and a half in, it sold for $50 million. These things were like almost impossible to do a couple of years ago. And so it really feels like, for me at least, that anyone can make apps. And when I say apps, I don't just mean iPhone apps. It could be a website or web app, a Chrome extension, automation, any piece of software, essentially. And I feel like anyone can make it for the first time ever, and it's way more cost efficient as well, right? Before, you'd have to hire all these developers. Like, my whole game plan was to raise money to hire developers with my first project, which would cost you 100K to $1 million. But now it's, at max maybe like $20, like, or minimum around like $20 a month. Sometimes they give you discount codes, so it goes down to $1 a month, with just you and AI, which is quite cool. um, and yeah, I feel like anyone can get to making some amount of money where, for example, like $300 is doing 15 hours of part-time work. And if you ask me, I would much rather be sleeping or like working on my projects a couple of hours a day, or a week, and make the same amount than working 15 hours in an Amazon warehouse. And I feel like a lot of people ask me, like, what if my idea already exists? And I feel like that's a wrong question to ask when you're starting out, because who cares if it exists? Like, you want to make it for you first, because that's what makes it special. If it's something that you think you'd use every day, then you'd be surprised to know how many people there are like you outside, in this world. And so you want to make it because it's something that gets you excited, or it solves a problem that you care about. And then you just find one more person like you. You learn about that person, and then it goes on to five more people, 10 more, 15 more. And then that's how you start getting your first $100 a month, 250, 500, and so on and so forth. If there's one thing you guys can take away from this call, it's just to make something and tell one person about it, and you repeat that till you get $100. If this could be your whole, if I could go back in time and redo my projects or do Sync Team again, I would just follow this one game plan. Um, but why do we actually charge money early? Does anyone have any idea? Why do we actually charge money early?
So that we can in how should I say this? So that we can improve on the product that we already have.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. So we charge money early, so we get some feedback, right? Like, our first versions of whatever our idea is are gonna suck. Like, obviously the first versions aren't gonna be the best one, and so it's more important to just get a version out there. I like to call it toy versions because it should just be like a very simple working version of your idea where only the one main feature it needs to do uh, to complete your idea's functionality. That's the only thing the toy version focuses on. But in general, like the first toy version you make in a weekend is going to suck. So we don't charge money to get wealthy, and like you said correctly, we charge money to get a signal. And this, I want you all to like have this reframe that money is a signal and we charge it early to learn and to save us a lot of time and pain. So when I started Synctium, I spent like 6 months on it, just coming up with a business plan, investor pitch deck, all these other things. But ultimately, we were at $0 with like zero customers. And so I wish we charged money early to realize what people actually wanted. And it would have saved me a lot of time and pain. And so, yeah, the reframe of charging money to validate your idea is very important. And the best time to do it is in the beginning, not when you're 6 months into development. There's different levels of validation. Uh, the worst ones are when people just say, "That's a cool idea. I would use that," or even like, "I would pay for it." Like, you don't want to hear that because you want to see their actions doing those things instead of them saying it. A lot of the times, people just say it for to be nice, to be polite, but you want to see if your product actually solves some problem, or if it's something that people care about. And so a better sense of validation is, are they actually using it? Are they using it consistently? Are they paying for it? And the best is if they're paying for it consistently, then you know that they really care about the product, right? Um, and yeah, it's crazy that 93% of humans don't pay for 93 of humans don't charge. They all just pay for stuff. And they pay for stuff without even thinking about it. Like they'll spend $7 on coffee, they'll spend money on commute, they'll spend money on gas, they'll spend money on food, and they don't even think about it, right? Um, and just 7% of people like charge for those kind of things. And trust me, like being in the 7% is way more fun when you can charge for things that you've made and you're proud of. And who would want to make some extra income? I feel like anyone here can get to $10 a month and find 50 people like that would be willing to pay and use their product, and make an extra $500 a month. It allows you to it funds like all your coffees. It allows you to have access to all these other like resources, things that you probably wouldn't be able to do otherwise. But it all starts with that like first $1. um, and yeah, you all can do it on this weekend. I really wish that all of you go home and you have an idea. I know a lot of you already put it into the chatbot. Take up any AI agent. In the end, I'll talk about how you can do this with AI plus friends if you want. But basically, every weekend, we help a bunch of people go from an idea to a real working version, and get real users or get real people to use it. But yeah, any of you can do this. You just need an idea and you just need a toy version of it. And then you just send that. You create a demo and send it to like 5 people, just 5 people in your life that you think would use it. I want to share a quick example with you guys. So when I started this community for the Cold Email Hall of Fame, I wanted to help a couple of people that wanted to get to their next dream job, investor, client, whatever it is, with the cold email. And so I just put this little text and a link on my Instagram story, $10 a month if anyone wanted to join. And I texted a couple of my other friends as well with the link, and yeah, just to ask them like, hey, check this out if you want to join, and send this to like more friends. And yeah, that's how I got to like 20 people in that community in a week or so. Um, so now I have this community now where like I teach people how to write cold emails and get to their next dream opportunity. These are a couple of more screenshots I just wanted to share with you guys, not to flex, but just to show you that people are willing to pay for stuff that you make and that you think is interesting. On the left side is for an 8-day cold email course that I created that never in my life I thought people would pay $100 for. But you know what? I looked at something else that was out there and I was like, people are paying like $150 for courses on writing, copywriting. Why not just charge it and see what happens? and people actually like were paying for it, and I didn't have to do much to even tell them about it. um, I did a hackathon where I had all these people come in, write cold emails together, and it was a free event. I made it completely optional to pay or donate, and it was crazy that people came and actually paid and donated 15, 30 bucks. So I put these screenshots here to like show you guys proof that people are willing to pay for things online, as much as we believe in our heads that who's going to pay 100 bucks for a stupid thing like this, you know? And like, who am I to like make a course and I don't have a degree in cold emails and things like that. um, so yeah, if you guys do make something on the weekend, I think when you're first starting out, the best, easiest way to monetize, get to your first 10, 20, 30, $100 is to just send out it should be very manual. So you should be sending out personalized text, DMs, messages like this to friends, to people that you think would use this. And yeah, I think like we all have like a bunch of contacts in our phone, on our social medias that we could reach out to. We just really have to dig into that and find like the first 20 people. And the goal is that even if they don't pay for the thing that you send them, you learn from them why they're not willing to pay for it. And that's when you actually start iterating on your product. The moment you build something, send it to one person and get some real feedback, and then you go and change or make your product better, that's when your journey actually begins. um, and the one thing I always tell people with ideas is that whatever idea you start with is never going to be the idea you end up with. And a couple of examples of that is, for example, um, Slack started off being a chat for gaming, but today Slack is completely different. It's a workspace for professionals and employers and employees in a company to share work amongst each other. Netflix started out with in-person postcards of DVDs about the latest shows. You know, today it's a whole entertainment center. Amazon started out with just an online bookstore. Today it sells everything. So ideas never end up where they start with. But you want to get the idea out of your head, and you want other people to tell you what they think about it. Like, what do they care about? Which parts are they actually using? And where does that what problem is it solving for them? And so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the slides and the talk that I had. Happy to answer any questions and any things like that. Thank you, Emmanuel, for letting me come on here, share my story. It was really fun to spend this time with you guys. And yeah, I hope like at the end of this you feel a little bit inspired to go shoot your shot, to go and try out the ideas that you have in your head, and spend the weekend with it. And yeah, I think what you guys are doing, Emmanuel, is really cool, really awesome. And you all are very lucky to have this community of people around you that are working on similar things. It's actually a very special thing that Unlock Alabama is all about. And so yeah, I think you guys should just make the most of it, unlock that community for you. It's up to you to unlock it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys.
Thanks so much, Sid, for coming in and sharing like your entire story. I think what I found very impactful for you as a college student, you've been able to lean into all of your soft skills. Like I've just been writing them down, like storytelling, humor, optimism, hustle, and persuasion. And I think I honestly think that has more weight than the building aspect. I think they both couple each other, and I like how you've been able to monetize off of both and completely own both sides. It's not like a either or thing. It's like you've done both. So, yeah, I took a bunch of notes. Have more questions, but I'll open up to the audience if you have
Yeah, also
anything.
really, really quickly, can everyone just like rate this whole session like out of 10? Just want to know if you think it was shit, just put like a 1 out of 10. That's completely fine. But I just want to get an idea of like how you guys thought the whole thing was. 10, 10. Okay, amazing. Thank you guys. So kind. And yeah, happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, let me know what you got, Emmanuel.
I do have a question.
Sure.
But first, I want to say thank you so much for sharing such wonderful information and your journey. It's
Cool.
really
Pleasure.
inspiring. And the question that I have is like, how did you monetize your apps?
Yeah, so I mean, you can go and check it all out on the Cold Email Hall of Fame, or Cold Emails Our World. So there's a bunch of things that I did, but initially, I guess, um, I have this one like 8-day cold email challenge. So once you like click in, put an email, then it takes you to this 8-day cold email course. So that's one way I monetize it. Another way that I monetize it is through Gumroad, where it's basically just a community of people that pay like $10 a month, and then I work with them every month, every week on writing cold emails. And then one other thing I did was this cold emails hackathon. Um, which was free, but like, people just don't donated money and like wanted to pay money to be a part of it. So I've done like a bunch of experiments. When I first started out in the Hall of Fame, I would only show the first three, and then for the rest, people would have to pay $10 a month to continue to see the rest of the emails in the Hall of Fame. And yeah, that's actually how I got to my first $10. It was just having people pay $10 a month to see the rest of the cold emails in the Hall of Fame. And then that's how I realized, like, okay, people actually want to see these emails, and it means that they care about writing good cold emails. Um, yeah, so that's how I started, and then just kept improving. Like that $10 went to $30 a month. Went to $30 to see all the cold emails on the site. People still kept paying. And so then I created the $100 course, and so it just like kept building on one over the other. And when I first started, I never like had the whole plan laid out. If that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
Cool.
I do have a question.
Yeah, yeah.
You mentioned not knowing how to code. I guess like my question would be like, if for someone that doesn't really know how to code, how important would you say communication and just the language that you use with AI is to just make sure you get the right what am I s- how should I say, like get the right, I guess, product that you're looking for.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it depends where you're at. So let me ask you this: Have you tried any of the AI agents, like anything other than ChatGPT, to build something?
Yes, I've used, I forget what it's called, but I've tried.
Oh, I think you got muted.
I'm sorry, I just realized I was muted. But I've tried other AI platforms, but at times I feel like I didn't get what I wanted exactly. So I guess that's where the communication is kind of cut off at for me.
So yeah, like give me a little bit more context on what it is you tried. What did you tell the
Um,
AI, and why didn't you get what you wanted? You're muted again.
I'm sorry, I don't know why it keeps doing that. You
No
know what?
worries.
I'm sorry. I would just send an email. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
It's okay. We can hear you now, so I think it should
Okay.
be.
You said give you a little bit more context. I try to build like, I think it was a I try to build like multiple apps, but mostly like an online shopping app. And I just felt like it wasn't like giving me exactly what I wanted. But I feel like it might have been just like a disconnection with the communication or something. So that's why I'm like, okay, I don't really know how to code. So that's very difficult for me to do. So I'm not getting exactly what I want. Maybe my input is wrong. So I guess
Mhm.
like, how important would you say, like, how should I communicate with the AI platform? Or if there's like any AI platform that you would recommend for me to use?
Yeah, I mean, like, so it is important to know how to structure what you want, but I wouldn't say it's important when you're just starting out. Um,
Okay.
when you're just starting out, it could just be like make me a shopping app, and the AI agents are very good at picking the right framework and then picking the right tools to build it out for you. If you don't, like, I would say try out Replit, Replit, or
Okay.
Emergent is one of them as well. and just go and give it like plain English, like how you would tell a person to go build this out. And you try to be specific, so you're giving the AI or like the person. Imagine you tell a person just go make a shopping app. Then the person doesn't know exactly what you want. Like he has an idea, or that person has an idea. But if you're more specific, then you'll just get something that is more in alignment with what you want. But in
Mhm.
general, like even after, like once you've already started out and all these things, why it helps to have an engineering background or like know a little bit about coding is because then you know how to be more specific in what you ask the AI. So an example of that would be, instead of saying build me a website for a shopping app, you would instead say uh, start a React project that says hello world. And like why you would say
Okay.
that is because like AI is, for example, good at writing this programming language called React or Next.js, and so it would go and set up a simple website in that language, and then you can like build on from there. So the next thing you would say is, okay, now add like a hero section on the first page, and then add like a nav bar. So you'd get more specific, but when you're just starting out, you don't need to like overcomplicate it with all those things, right? I think when you're just starting out, you just go and tell it um, kind of more specifically, but also just in plain English, like you would tell a person.
Okay. I will try that again. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely try it out. And I don't know if maybe I like missed one slide, but hold on, let me just share this really quickly. Yeah, if you guys want to go to aiplusfriends.com, every weekend I try to do a Zoom call. So this weekend is like a paid one, but next weekend I'm most probably just going to do it for free again for everyone. And you basically do like build out the ideas that you have alongside other people, and I just help guide you a little bit, and we all share it in a Discord that we have. Get feedback, and we keep improving on it. So yeah. I hope it's okay, Emmanuel, for me to just put the website there. It's all good. Alright, cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other questions? I can answer.
I just had I think something that came was a recurring theme in your story. Like I was really cool to see your quote from your grandfather listed as one of your favorite quotes on your website. And it goes, use time in time while time does last, for time is no time when time is past.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool how you seize a moment in monetizing your apps to see if it works, to see testing out your ideas instead of keeping it in your head. And when you notice opportunities like Founders Inc., just take shooting your shot anyways and going for it. Even in your one of your emails from your newsletter, when you talked about picking up a Sony A7 III for the first time and like picking up YouTube on your phone, like, yo, how do I use this A7 III? Like I that was funny to me because I learned how to use a camera last year and I went through a very similar process, but you did it on the spot and just owned it completely. So I just want to say kudos to you for for living the quote from your grandfather. I've just found it super inspiring.
Thank you, man. That means a lot to me. And yeah, I appreciate that. I remember that moment so clearly in my head, because I was freaking out. For the other people that don't know, it's basically when I went to Founders Inc. and I just showed up. Remember, with the cold email. Luckily, one of the person had read the cold email, and so I told them I was going to film this launch video, and that person just handed me their camera and said, "Okay, go film it." And I pretended like I know what I was doing, but I had no idea. So I just took that camera and I was like outside on a bench, and I had like YouTube on my phone. I'm like, how do I use a Sony A7 III? And I was like trying to learn it, and I was like freaking out. I was sweating. It was like 2 degrees, but I was literally sweating because of how like nervous I was. But yeah, I like to force myself in these environments or situations where I have no choice but to like follow through and improve. And then like the more you do it, the more confidence you gain in yourself to figure it out. But I appreciate the kind words, like so inspiring.
Any last questions for Sid? All right. Well, yeah, Sid, again, thank you so much for coming, and really do appreciate you. Yeah, being you're now a part of our community too. So yeah, welcome to Unlock Alabama. We'd be happy to have you if the guys that's something you're interested in later down the line. And yeah, thanks again for coming on and for this lunch and learn. This was amazing.
Yeah, thank you all for spending your lunch hour with me. And I hope that I think it would be cool if we could do like an Alabama event for AI Plus Friends. Like if you guys have an in-person school or something like that, or a place that we could have like everyone come through, I think it would be really cool. But yeah, we'll chat more about that. But yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Sounds good. Yeah, no doubt.
Cool. All right, take care. Bye bye.
Peace.